you give all that power that you have when you're like panicked and fearful to that idea of losing something, to that idea of losing an opportunity, to the idea of not being worthy. Hey guys, welcome back to Abby's Corner. I'm really excited about today's topic. I think it's something a lot of people are going to relate to. Today we're going to talk about sweeping things under the rug and why it's not helpful and how to not do that, because it's something that we've all done. It's something that we all are tempted to do sometimes, and there are more healthy ways to move through things than sweeping things under the rug, so make sure you stay to the end of the video so you get the most that you can out of everything I'm about to throw at you guys. It is kind of a lot, but I think it'll resonate. So when it comes to sweeping things under the rug and just burying things, whatever it is, typically when this happens, it's because of issues in a relationship or issues with your job or issues with yourself. So self-worth issues that you just kind of keep below the surface and not really acknowledge and not really pay attention to as much as you can. And when do we do this? We do it when we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. We do it when we're afraid of losing something, like maybe losing a person or losing a job or losing an opportunity. Or we do it when we're unable to like truly face something. Usually that's when we're battling worthiness, and it's when we're not able to face whatever it is about ourselves that we kind of need to acknowledge, whatever that may be. Or it's when you don't want to face a conflict. Because who here loves conflict? Not me. So that's a lot of the times when I would try to sweep things under the rug and kind of downplay them, is when either I had issues with myself that I didn't want to face, or I was afraid of conflict because I hate conflict. And I know I'm not the only one. But I read this on Google, and it really does make sense that when you brush something under the rug, brushing things under the rug creates a mountain. So think about that. The more you sweep things under the rug, and the more that you put things underneath the rug, the metaphorical rug, whatever that is, yourself, you're creating a mountain. Oh, like the mountain's behind me. Whatever, that was just weird. Synchronicity, I don't know, or not, coincidence, who cares? But when you do that, you create more, and that tension builds and builds and builds until it doesn't have anywhere else to go but out. And that's when you get that really bad, anxious feeling inside of you, and when you get the anxiety, when you panic, when you get sad, when you get depressed. And if something's a problem, like an actual problem, it's a problem. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna disappear. Unfortunately, it would be great if it did, but keeping it down for too long it's just gonna keep building and building and building until it's so big you can't ignore it. So you're better off not ignoring it in its early stages, because then you're actually gonna feel like you have a better handle on it. When you don't face something and you ignore it and you downplay it, you actually give it more power because you're afraid of it, so you're running away from it, and you're worried about the repercussions of whatever facing this thing may be, or acknowledging this thing, or saying this thing to this person. You give all that power that you have when you're like panicked and fearful to that idea of losing something, to that idea of losing an opportunity, to the idea of not being worthy. And any person that you're gonna lose, or anything that you're gonna lose, when you're bringing up a feeling that you have, when you're bringing up a need that you have, or when you're bringing up something important to you, anybody you lose when you do that in that process, as unfortunate as it is, or anything that you lose, odds are you are gonna lose it eventually in some way. And when it comes to people and opportunities, it is important to remember that some people truly are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I'm sure some of you have probably heard that before, and it is true. There are people in our lives who are here for fleeting moments. There are people who are here for our entire lives. There are people who aren't. And people being in or not being in your life doesn't have any effect, and it's not an effect of your worth. Someone being in your life or not being in your life doesn't make you worthy or unworthy. But it also doesn't make you worthy, which is important to remember. Your self-worth comes from you, and again, this is battling unworthiness too at times, so be aware of that. But yeah, anything that you could stand to lose by doing something for yourself in this way, by kind of stepping into your power and making your needs known or making your feelings known or bringing up something important, make sure you're doing that. Because anything that you could lose in the process, you were gonna lose potentially anyway. Or you don't have as firm a grasp on it as you think you do, so don't try and hang on to things just because you're afraid of losing them, if that makes sense. So what do you do when you realize that you have maybe a mountain? Or what do you do when you realize that you have been sweeping things under the rug and now it's time to kind of like face it head on, which is, yes, scary, but very possible. And once you do it, you'll feel a lot better. You figure out what is keeping you down, or what's making you anxious, or what's making you fearful. It could be a feeling, it could be a thought, it could be you needing to take some sort of action, you could be putting off doing something. So first you want to figure out what that thing is, and then you want to take action steps to acknowledge it. This can be writing out a list of feelings about this certain thing. It could be writing out, I need to do this, and I'm afraid that X, Y, and Z. And just seeing the problem and just seeing what your thought process is about this thing. It could be, again, battling unworthiness. It could be maybe bringing something up to someone you love and you think maybe by bringing it up it might hurt their feelings, or you need to make your needs met, or they need to help you meet your needs or something. And you're afraid that bringing it up will cause some sort of tension in the relationship, or hurt the relationship, or damage the relationship, or end the relationship. Whatever these things are that you are listing, pay attention to them, because they're gonna help you get to the root of what is actually going on. And a lot of times it is because we are afraid of conflict, or we are afraid of not being worthy because of someone not wanting to be in our life, or because of not being able to handle something. Sometimes it's just that. Sometimes we just simply can't handle everything that's happening. And that's okay. And you don't have to handle everything that's happening all at once. You never have to do that. And you don't have to rush through anything that you're not ready to do. That's very important to remember. Once you take the action steps to acknowledge what's going on and you can kind of identify what's happening, you can bring up what you need to bring up, whether you're bringing it up to yourself or you're bringing it up to another person, whether that's your boss or a family member or a friend. Make sure you do this. Make sure you bring it up, and make sure that you do it with confidence, and you do it knowing that this is just a way to make your needs met, or just a way to make you feel better, or a way to maybe make a tense situation less tense. That helps too. Bringing up certain things that have been bothering you in a not over emotional, but it can be, if you're emotional, you're emotional, but if you take some emotional out of it and keep logic into it, that can help as well. And then once you've brought this thing up, you need to forgive what you need to forgive in order to kind of move on from it. And that can be maybe you and, let's say you're having an issue with like a tense moment with someone you love. It can be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a sister, a brother, a father, a mother. It doesn't matter who it is, but let's say you're having an issue with someone and it's very tense, and you bring up, maybe you're feeling neglected in some way, maybe they're feeling neglected in some way, and it kind of comes to a head and doesn't explode, but it does come up. Whether you bring it up or it comes up on its own, it doesn't matter. But once you acknowledge these things and you're able to kind of rectify or not rectify, maybe rectifying it is saying, okay, I feel this way, you feel this way. For now, in the season that we're in, maybe it's the most healthy for us to take space. Then you need to forgive what's happened and close that chapter and not dwell in that chapter. It's very easy to dwell in that feeling of guilt, or of feeling like you shouldn't have brought something up, or of feeling unworthy, because sometimes, like I said, this is battling unworthiness, or the feeling of unworthiness just within yourself. Try not to dwell in that, because you've just taken back some power for yourself. And you've just asserted yourself, which is really freaking awesome. It's something that we don't do a lot, but it's something that we should do a lot. And then after you forgive, you move on. Like I said, close the chapter, go on to the next thing. You've done this thing, congratulations. Now it's time to continue to evolve and continue to grow and potentially have to do it all over again, because let's be real, it is very normal for us to want to sweep things under the rug. And we probably have to go through not doing it a few times before we're like a pro at not doing it, if that makes sense. So that's kind of that for dealing with whatever you're hiding or whatever you're hiding from or whatever you're trying to belittle or bury. And like I said, burying things, sweeping them under the rug, not always the healthiest way to go through things. So we're all just trying to move through things a little bit easier. I hope that this video has helped you or inspired you or given you some sort of insight. And if you have ideas for new videos that I can do or new topics I can cover for you or any questions you want me to answer in question of the day or week or whatever it's gonna be, please comment them and be sure to share this with people if you feel like it could help someone, or hit the subscribe button, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. And I will see you guys at the next video. See you later. Love you.